Meghan Markle is not having a good week. In fact, if you peeked into Montecito, right now you'd probably find her pacing the halls, phone in one hand, legal pad in the other, trying to figure out how on earth everything flipped so fast. A royal website, that cold digital ledger of who's in and who's out, just delivered what might be one of the pettiest but most brutal blows yet. Princess Lily vanished, poof, gone from the official profile, still in the line of succession, yes, but her personal page scrubbed. And Meghan, she's furious now. Let's not act like the palace hasn't played games before. This isn't the first time Harry and Meghan's presence on the royal website has been toyed with. A while back, their profiles were yanked off the front page without warning, only to reappear a few minutes later, like it was some kind of accidental glitch. But this time, something's different. It's been hours. Elizabeth's page isn't just missing, it looks like it's been deleted on purpose, and here's where it gets spicy. Meghan reportedly believes this is all about the birth certificate. Remember, that weird twerking video she did while heavily pregnant. Yet people haven't forgotten that clip raised eyebrows across the board, not because of the dance, but because the belly looked off too bouncy, too fake. Combine that with rumors swirling around the birth certificate, listing a Colorado area code, not California, and suddenly it's not just royal gossip, is a ticking time bomb. Meghan's camp is apparently claiming she's being targeted unfairly, but behind the scenes insiders are whispering that the royals might be demanding proof, real proof, as improper birth documentation. The palace, of course, is staying silent. Classic move, but make no mistake, the pressure is coming from somewhere high up. Some say Prince William is behind it, quietly urging the firm to take a firmer stance. And let's be real, if anyone has a reason to push for answers, it's William. He's not just Harry's brother, he's next in line. This isn't just about family drama anymore. It's about legitimacy, succession, and keeping the monarchy from being dragged into a mess of headlines that sound more like a Netflix drama than royal history. And Meghan, oh, she's not going down without a fight. Rumors are swirling that she's threatening legal action over what exactly she supposedly believes the palace has no right to remove her daughter's profile. That is a form of public humiliation, a step too far. But here's the kicker: royal titles aren't like Instagram bios. They're granted and revoked at the monarch's discretion. Charles technically could wake up tomorrow and strip Harry of everything, turn around and say, "You're just Henry, now no Duke, no HR, just Henry Mountbatten Windsor." And Meghan, she's not exempt. What's making this worse for Meghan is that she seems convinced this is all retaliation for what you ask. A mix of things: the Oprah interview, the Netflix deal, that cartoonish PR push that paints her as a saint of Hollywood. But mostly it's the birth rumors. There's talk that royal officials quietly want names of doctors who delivered Archie and Lilith, that standard for royal births we've seen it for generations. The names go on an easel outside the palace in black and gold. So far, Meghan hasn't provided any, not one. And that silence is getting louder by the day. 600 words reached. Let me know when you're ready for part 2. Code AC. People who've been following this saga closely have been asking the same question. Why hasn't Meghan just cleared things up? If everything was legitimate, why not hand over the birth certificates, name the doctors, and move on? But here's where things start getting really murky. When Archie was born, there was no public easel outside the palace. No official notice, no smiling photo op with a red blanket and a hospital step. What we got instead was a heavily edited photo in a hallway and vague statements about where and when he was born, and now with leak. It's even sketchy. No known medical staff, no listed hospital, just an announcement. And a PR machine spinning at full speed. There's a theory, and it's gaining traction, that Meghan may not be the biological mother of the kids at all. Sounds insane, right? But the people pushing this idea aren't. Coming out of nowhere, they point to inconsistencies like that Colorado address on Lilette's birth certificate. Why would someone born in California have a certificate pointing to Colorado? And why was that section listing Doria's mother, Meghan's grandmother, left as unknown? That's not a clerical error. That's deliberate. Now mixing the rumors that Meghan had a hysterectomy years ago, possibly during her marriage with Trevor, and suddenly this narrative that she used a surrogate starts to feel a little more plausible. Of course, surrogacy isn't a crime, but when you're part of the royal line, transparency becomes a requirement. The rules are strict. The palace doesn't care if it's controversial. They care if it's official. If the child isn't biologically tied to the royal bloodline, it throws the entire line of succession into question. And Meghan, for all her love of privacy, isn't exactly helping her case by staying silent. What's ironic is that Meghan used to boast about breaking tradition being different, rewriting what it meant to be a royal, but you can't rewrite biology. You can't outmaneuver centuries of protocol by just staying quiet and calling everyone else racist or unhinged. People want answers of royal family. For one seems to be quietly demanding them too, and from what insiders are saying this time, they're not backing down. Meanwhile, Prince Harry looks like a man caught in the headlights publicly. He said nothing, not a single statement defending Meghan or clarifying the situation. Some say it's because he's genuinely tired of the circus. Others believe he's distancing himself from a lie that's getting too big to manage, because if it comes out that both kids were born by a surrogate and they never disclose it, especially under pretense of royal legitimacy, the fallout will be massive, not just reputational, but constitutional. The royal website, which seems like a simple list of titles and names, is actually one of the most politically charged tools of the palace, has you get a slot there only if your status is undisputed. So elite disappearing from the site while still being listed in the line of succession, that's a warning shot as a way of saying, we're watching, fix this. And still Meghan seems to believe that public sympathy will shield her. She's rolling out friendly media interviews, curating her image as a hands-on mom, showing up in soft pastels with a soft smile, all while ignoring the fundamental issue. Where the records, where the facts, because no matter how curated the aesthetic, the monarchy runs on documents, not vibes. And right now, Meghan's filing cabinet looks suspiciously empty. 600 words reach. Let me know when you're ready for Part 3, Code A. The pressure cooker in Montecito is whistling loud now, and Meghan knows it behind the walls of her sprawling estate. She's reportedly rallying her legal team, PR advisors, and any media allies still willing to go to bat for her. She's convinced this isn't just about a website profile. To her, it's personal, a calculated attack meant to humiliate, destabilize, and strip away whatever royal recognition she still clings to. And she's not totally wrong. The removal of Leeds' profile is symbolic. But in the royal world, symbols are everything. What Meghan doesn't seem to fully grasp is how deeply the monarchy cares about optics backed by protocol. Everything must look pristine because behind a curtain, it often isn't. Meghan tried to play that game half royal, half Hollywood, and it worked for a while, but now that the glossy press tours have faded and public curiosity has shifted, she's left with a story full of holes and a growing pile of questions. People don't just want fairy tales anymore. They want receipts. The birth narrative is now central to that. Who delivered the children? Where was the process even remotely traditional? And more importantly, why go to such lengths to hide? If British royal births have always followed a script, a photo outside the hospital, there's names on record, official announcements with hospital details, all documented, archived, and verifiable. But for Archie and Lily, we got a blurry phone call, some vague location hints, and now the slow eraser of any trace of Lily from the official family tree. There's also the uncomfortable whispers about bloodlines. Meghan's family background has become a hot-button topic, not because of who she is, but because of what's been omitted or rewritten reports about. Distant relatives, potential half-sibling marriages in her lineage, and strained blank spaces on genealogy records have only added fuel to fire. Again, these aren't new topics, but they've been brushed aside, repackaged, or buried beneath PR distractions. That strategy might have worked for a celebrity, but for someone with royal ambitions, it's a ticking bomb, and the monarchy, it's already pivoting. Charles has stayed mostly silent, but insiders say he's monitoring everything. William, on the other hand, is reportedly fed up not with Meghan personally, but with the drama that seems to orbit her. He knows how fragile the institution is right now post-Elizabeth. There's no room for spectacle. Every inch of legitimacy matters. And that means pressure will keep mounting behind the scenes until someone, Meghan or Harry, finally coughs up the full truth. If Meghan really wants to hold on to any remaining public goodwill, she'll need more than curated interviews and staged photo ops. She'll need documentation, proof, and perhaps the one thing she's never willingly given: transparency. Because the longer this drags on, the more people lean into the worst-case scenario, that Elizabeth's profile wasn't taken down in error. It was deliberate, a signal that until the palace gets confirmation, real legal medical confirmation, she's not getting a place on the stage. As for Harry's silence, is almost deafening. He once said he left the royal family for privacy and protection, but what's playing out now feels less like a man protecting his wife, and more like a man slowly backing away from a narrative he no longer believes in. If he truly wanted to shut this down, he could one photo, one signed affidavit, one hospital name. But there's nothing, just stage smiles and endless noise as dying side. And until that silence breaks, the palace will wait quiet, firm, and immovable. Because in the end, you can't strong-arm your way into royalty. You prove it or you vanish from the page, entirely 600 words complete.